Hello, my name is Jack Gazalian. I'll be representing Team 6, the analysts. Our team consists of Ben, me, Ding Chang, Fausto, Jordan, Rory, and Simran. And our project is titled City of Fresno Fiscal Opportunity, a Prescriptive Approach. So our goal is to use multiple loan information datasets along with the City of Fresno payroll dataset to perform prescriptive analytics which will relate the wages of Fresno County employees to the likelihood of being able to successfully pay off a loan of amount X. And our process is to gather multiple large datasets which will all undergo logistic regression to form a predictive model. And we'll be combining these datasets into one large dataset, as we'll talk about in a little bit. Then we'll use our Fresno County wage data to generate a new data set using linear regression, which will then run through our previously created logistic regression model in order to predict whether or not Fresno County employees should be able to pay off a loan of amount X. Datasets. So we have two CSV files containing information on individuals who have taken out or filed for loans, merged into one dataset for logistic training, and we also have wage data, 3 PDFs of City of Fresno employees and their wages from years 2016 to 2018. And we can take a look at these. So this is the City of Fresno wage data. As you can see, we have different job titles along with the respective salary, and there's many entries. And then this is one of our loan data sets. The other one is too large to open. We have various parameters here like interest rate, installment, debt to income ratio, FICO score, etc., along with a binary output of fully paid or not. A little bit of visualization. So here is the dispersion for our merged loan data set. So as you can see, our mean salary is around $76,000, mean loan amount around $14,300, and then we have mean installment, which is a payment on the loan within a given time frame. And then we have our mean interest rate, debt to income ratio, and delinquency in 2 years. And delinquency is a late payment on a loan. So in this case, not the amount of late payments in a 2-year time span. And now visualizing our wage data set. The mean income for City of Fresno employees is $60,000. Top occurring occupation was police officer with 690 individual titles, and there are 338 different jobs. And as you can see, we have 4,260 different employees, each with a unique wage that we are dealing with. Exploratory analysis. So by training the parameters found in our datasets to the binary output of receiving a loan, we will attempt to determine the degree of influence of said parameters on the likelihood of paying a loan. Doing so will help determine the causes of individual loan default or completion. So in essence, we're trying to determine the things that cause people to pay off or default on loans and relating them to employees within the City of Fresno. So our process, initializing the data. So we loaded the CSV data into pandas data frames. The required parameters were selected, so we cherry-picked parameters from our merged data set and loaded them into new data frames. Outer join was performed on selected data frames for combination. So we combined all of the cherry-picked parameters from each of the data sets into one metadata set using an outer join. Cleaning. A function was implemented to filter the dependent variable of the dataset into binary output. So if loan was marked charged off, we return 0. If loan was marked fully paid, return 1. And this is inside of the CSV files. Inside of the cells, we had these labels of charged off and fully paid for either paid off or defaulted, and we returned a 0 for default and 1 for paid off. And the dependent variable is loan status. So, and then we use the drop NA method to get rid of the empty cells in the mega data set. Descriptive Analytics. So this is the distribution of the annual income of all individuals whom received a loan in our mega data set. So as you can see, kind of have a rough bell-shaped curve here with greatest amount of individuals having a salary within the 40 to 60,000 range. And then this is the same thing. It is the distribution of the income, but for all City of Fresno employees. So as we can see, there's a large gap in between around 10,000 to 50,000. So we have a lot of minimum wage service workers in the city of Fresno, and that's what accounts for this large spike before we get into salaried workers. And the average salaried worker makes around $50,000, and then we see a large trail off as the salaries go up. Exploratory analysis on our loan data. So this is a representation of the loan amount received against the individual's salary. Each data point is differentiated by defaulting on the loan or paying the loan in full, 0 or 1. So a blue dot represents a loan default, and the orange dot, or 1, represents a successful payoff. And as we can see, there is a correlation between having a larger income and receiving a higher loan. And here is a visualization of exploratory analysis in the city of Fresno employees. So we can see of the 7 most common jobs in the city, only 3 fall within the data set's overall mean, which was 60,000 as we discussed earlier. So police officer, police sergeant, and firefighter specialist are all making well above the average mean, whereas bus driver is just barely there, almost there, and laborer, lifeguard, and services aide, which are all usually part-time, close to minimum wage positions, are nowhere close to the 60,000 average salary. Predictive Analytics. When considering the average annual income for City of Fresno employees over the past 3 years, we can obviously see an upward trend. Due to this, we have concluded that these individuals will continue to have high fiscal opportunity with regards to loan in the upcoming years. We have concluded this because of the high correlation between annual income and the final loan status of individuals, which was produced in our predictive model.
After assessment of the predictive analytics, our data forms a positive outlook on the state of fiscal opportunity for the City of Fresno employees. Considering that about 80% of employees are able to pay off a loan, we can conclude that individuals seeking work have a high level of insurance regarding fiscal loan opportunities when considering employment by the City of Fresno.
And back to our process. So, logistic regression. Using sklearn, we made a logistic regression model using 80% of our data to train and 20% to test. The model was run on the combined merge dataset utilizing the independent variables aforementioned, which I have placed here at the bottom again. So the independent variables are salary, loan amount, installment, interest rate, debt to income ratio, and delinquency within the past 2 years. And the current accuracy of this model is greater than 90%. Okay, next step in the process is to use linear regression. So our goal overall is to create a second data set using the City of Fresno employee wage data, and we're going to populate the chosen independent variables in this new data set using this linear regression model. So we use the variables of annual income and funded amount on our x-axis, and installment, interest rate, debt to income, and delinquency in 2 years on the y-axis, and we ran a linear regression model in order to see how these parameters relate with each other. And we're going to use this model to generate data to create a new data set which will incorporate the City of Fresno wages. And to conclude, we procured data sets about individual personal loans, which were used to train a logistic regression model. Using different attributes of the loan data, this regressor is able to predict whether someone would be able to pay off a loan given their financial status. Using the payroll data, we are then able to make accurate predictions of Fresno employees to show if they could afford a loan of a given amount or not.
After running our models, we found that 80% of the individuals would be able to take out the maximum loan offered by the source of our loan data, the lending club. This indicates that City of Fresno employees have a high likelihood of fiscal opportunity regarding loans. Individuals seeking employment can consider this fact when regarding the City of Fresno as a potential employer. Furthermore, banks and financial organizations can use this as a suggestion to consider City and Fresno employees as good candidates for loans.